Ahead on Early Birds.
To throw, quick shot, that is caught. Tagovailoa has now thrown his 4th touchdown pass of the day.
Yeah, I understand. Everybody has those growing pains. You got to go through that.
Ball game over. Dolphins of Mike McDaniel scored 27 in a row and coasted to a 34-10 win.
And you got to bring them back. It's not their job to like us. It's our job to make them like us.
After a frustrating stretch, the Falcons will look to make the Patriots pay. Shocks in the film room breaking down what must happen in New England. Plus, we preview Florida. Help me out, Coach.
My greatest fear is saying Florida.
Dogs and Gators today, Falcons and Patriots tomorrow. Early Birds starts now.
Grab a cup of your favorite Joe and let's talk Falcons football on Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Good morning, welcome into Early Birds. He's DJ, I'm Justin. The Falcons could use a win, Shock, but the Patriots, one of the NFL's surprise teams.
Yeah, when you started this year, you looked at the schedule like, okay, that could be an easy win.
Right.
And right now, this is not an easy win. They are definitely one of the surprise teams and playing really well. It's not a fluke from one game to the next.
Absolutely. Let's get things started with the opening drive. Shock, Falcons and Patriots tomorrow in Foxborough. The Pats are led by surprising MVP candidate Drake May. Yeah,
Drake.
I like it. I like it. Who would have expected that? Maybe still a little under the radar, this QB to the casual fan, but Shock, this guy's good.
Yeah, Drake is good. I mean, you just look at some of the numbers. He's 15 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, completing 75% of his passes. He's the second leading rusher on his team.
Yeah.
He's got over 2,000 passing yards. He's 5th in the league in passing. Yeah, he's doing a lot of good things for the Patriots. It's the reason why they're in the position they are right now, because this second-year quarterback has started to take that next step. And hopefully he does not do that tomorrow and he goes backwards.
Yeah, Jeff Ulbrich, who remember is a former Jets assistant, knows his defense will have their hands full.
Being in the AFC East for 4 years, got very familiar with Drake, especially the last couple. And he's way better than I wanted him to be. He feels like a mini Josh Allen, like a younger Josh Allen in a lot of ways. His mobility, his arm strength, the way he can take a game over with both facets of the game. He's a problem.
As we continue on the opening drive, we know the Falcons will try and run on New England. The Dolphins, though, really shut down the ground game last week, and the Patriots have a good rush defense. So, Shock, how does Atlanta keep it from happening again?
Well, you may have to change how you go about your playing. Usually you try to run the ball on early downs. Maybe you start throwing the football. Get some easy completions in this ball game to set up the run, and then obviously their defense starting to softens up a little bit, and then you can run the football. So maybe you change your plan just a little bit from what you've done the last few weeks where teams have really honed in on your run game. Maybe throw it on early downs is key to this ball game. Zach Robinson says New England coach Mike Vrabel has his defense playing well.
Our guys will be fired up, like I said, ready to roll, but they just play very fundamentally sound. They don't get beat, and so we know we're going to have to out-execute them. It's going to be an execution game because they're not showing too many different looks, different than some of the teams we played. You kind of have a good understanding. They'll mix up their looks, of course, like any defense, but it does come down to just straight execution and who out-executes on both sides of the ball.
And as we wrap up the opening drive, let's spend a moment on the guy you just heard from, Zach Robinson. Shock, he's been a big topic among Falcons fans this week. Sports talk radio is buzzing. So, DJ, is the criticism fair, and what do you want to see from Zach?
I think it's fair to a degree because I think there's a lot of moving pieces that helps an offense be successful or not. Yeah, Zach has to do his part and come up with plays that are really good and find ways to get these guys free in space or easy completions. But then also, he mentioned it, a lot of it is execution. If you don't execute from their standpoint, then guess what? It don't matter what you call. He's going to be the one that's going to get blamed, but the players have to do their part as well.
Falcons looking for that execution tomorrow when they take on the Patriots. Welcome into Early Birds alongside DJ Shockley. I'm Justin Felder. And Shock, New England last year, 4-13. They got a new head coach. They got some new players. But, man, this has been a really quick turnaround.
And I think it starts with the head coach. I mean, Mike Vrabel has been the guy for a long time. And his kind of attitude and demeanor, I think guys want to play for him. You hear players coach all the time, but he has that tough demeanor. And he's brought that physical nature back to New England. And you see things are changing.
Yeah, Falcons hope to stop that momentum in New England and get back on track tomorrow afternoon. And one of the players leading the way will be Chris Lindstrom. He'll look to help get that run game going and elevate an O-line that expects more of themselves. Lindstrom will do all that just down the road from home. Kelly Price sat down with the Falcons' resident Bay Stater earlier this week.
So your high school, like an hour west kind of Gillette Stadium. Like, did you grow up a Pats fan? Did you watch them growing up?
Yeah, I did. I think growing up in New England at that time, I think it was probably the best time to grow up as a kid.
Watching Tom Brady down the road.
Yeah, exactly. So being a huge Tom Brady fan, Red Sox, Celtics, it was just like an awesome time to grow up. And then it really hit me playing Tom in 21 when he, or was it 20? Yeah, 20 when he came down to Tampa. It was like, oh my God, it's Tom Brady. Like, that's like one of those, like when you're young in the NFL, like you grow up like anybody watching people on TV, and then now to be playing in the game was crazy.
How cool is it that you're going to get to play up there, right next to your hometown, basically?
It's a lot of fun. It's something I've been really looking forward to. My family's going, and a lot of high school and college teammates and stuff like that are going, and they're going to have a good time. So, like I said, it's going to be special. And I played there high school and in college, and so now my first time in the NFL.
How much ticket requests did you have to put in for this week? Was it a record?
Yeah, exactly. When we thankfully I'm older now. Like if I was a rookie, I would have just like maxed it out. But now, as soon as the schedule came out, my wife and I were just like, you know what? Nope, guys. Like here's Ticketmaster. You guys are on your own. It's too much to handle. So it's been great though, and I'm really excited for the support I get from the community.
Yeah, that's awesome. So obviously everything going on with the team. Let's get kind of a vibe check. Where's especially offensively? Like where are you guys at going into this game?
I think we've talked about it. It was mentioned post game, and then now just like the connection that we have is the foundation, the bedrock of our team. And so when you have losses like that, you see locker rooms split, but that's not the case here. And so I think we're as unified as ever, and we just need to execute. And we know that, and we know our highs are as high as anybody in the NFL, and we've seen our worst moments. So just getting the consistency, and that's all just with execution.
I'm looking forward to watching Chris play the Patriots tomorrow. I'm not sure, DJ. I'm looking forward to watching the Florida-Georgia game later
Florida
today.
For sure. Yeah, we got that wrong. Hey, you definitely meant Georgia-Florida. Jake and I will break down the horror that awaits Justice Gators in Jacksonville. Plus,
I've never been skunked.
That's fair.
That's up.
And Michael Penix Jr. tells you about his welcome to the NFL moment, and it's not one he hopes to repeat anytime soon. That's next when we go deep.
You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of your Atlanta Falcons, and sponsored by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. And the Home Depot, how doers get more done. More Early Birds coming back at you. Early Birds. It's not Saturday down south without talking college football. Get ready to fire up the grill. Here's Shock.
Yeah. Your head crack right there talking about 5 degrees. You still fire up the grill in this kind of cool weather?
Oh, yeah. It's perfect grilling weather.
Yeah, not too hot.
Yeah, it goes a little bit colder, though. I'm back inside.
All right, well, man, Jake here to talk about a little college football. Jake, before we get into the games, I want to talk about the run of coaches that have lost their job over the last few weeks. I mean, a lot of them getting the boot. What's your thoughts on a bunch of these big-name guys losing their jobs?
It's crazy. I've never seen this many big-name programs, big-name coaches losing their jobs in the middle of the season. You're talking about UCLA, Penn State, LSU, Florida, the list goes on. The world of NIL portal win now is huge. And so if you're not getting it done, they're moving on.
Is Michael Jenkins going to throw his hat in the ring? He'd be a great coach, man.
Never.
No?
No.
Too much time. I already know. All right, Dre, let's talk about a couple games I thought were interesting because of where the season is trending with the CFP. The first one, Virginia headed to the West Coast to take on Cal. Virginia's ranked 15th, but undefeated in the ACC. What's your thoughts on them going to the West? Will that matter? And do you have them as the dark horse coming out of the ACC?
Yeah, we've seen this travel thing in this ACC with these teams traveling east to west and west to east kind of being a factor where teams get slow starts. So hopefully they can eliminate that and continue winning in the ACC and potentially, Virginia, Georgia Tech,
your team,
my team Tech, and the ACC championship. It's there for both of them.
Yeah, you're right. Never thought Virginia would be there. Here's Cal head coach Justin Wilcox with a scouting report on the Cavs.
Very good team. They find ways to win. Their offense, the quarterback's making really good plays. Play a lot of guys up front, really big on the edges. You got a really big corner, and then there's a safety that's a fantastic player. Makes a lot of plays for them. They've played the last 4 games, I believe. 3 of them are OT, and they're making the plays they need to make to win it.
Hey, Coach had a good scout report right there. He laid it all out
on
from there. The next two teams, Jake, I'm sure have done their due diligence as well. Let's talk some Big 12, Jake. How about that? Give them some love. Texas Tech and Kansas State. But Texas Tech, they have a couple good pass rushers in this game, David Bailey and Romello Heights. And Romello is our Chick-fil-A made in Georgia player from Dublin High School, where he helped them to a Class AA state title. Heights is the second on the Raiders team with this season with 5 sacks and is a menace off the edge. Jake, Texas Tech is trying to win the Big 12. How do they get past K-State today without looking forward to a big one next week when they face number 10 BYU?
Yeah, you don't want to look past K-State and look to that undefeated BYU team. So they have to really focus in on Avery Johnson, the dual threat quarterback from Kansas State. And Kansas State is playing well these last 3-4 games where they've kind of hit their stride and won 3 out of 4. And so you just never want to look at a team in the Big 12.
Like that. All right, here's Kansas State head coach Chris Klieman on what they must do early in this game versus Texas Tech.
We've got a really good football team coming in here, Texas Tech, and excited to have them at home. But we've got to come up with great plans. Got to have great focus because it's going to be a heck of a battle here at the Bill. And I think it's going to be, a crazy environment. Now we've got to match that with really good preparation, really good physicality, and be focused because this team has run a lot of people out of there in the first half.
All right, Jay, let's talk about the game I know you've been waiting to talk about. The one going down in Jacksonville. I can see it on your face. It's between the Dogs and Gators, and don't let Justin fool you. It is the Georgia-Florida game. Gators fired their head coach, Billy Napier. Both teams coming off bye weeks. How do you see this one playing out?
Now, I have no ties to this game, so can I say Florida first?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
Because we're good friends.
Okay. Georgia, Florida. I mean, like you said, both teams coming off bye weeks. And the crazy thing, obviously, Georgia's kind of dominated the last 10 years or so.
They have.
And they haven't been close. You know, whoever wins kind of wins in blowout fashion. So the only thing I worry about with Georgia against Florida is that Florida, they fired a coach, kind of rallying around, that thing, trying to make something of their season. You just never know, what could transpire with that.
I hear you on that. I've heard that time and time again. Here's Kirby Smart on how his team got better during their bye week. What did you see your team improve on the most during the bye week?
I think situational football. We worked really hard on some third down things, offense, defense. Tried to put some things together to help get teams into third and long. So defensively, it's been a big part of what we do to get teams second 10 to third down, and we haven't done it well this year. So I feel like that's what we targeted in this offseason.
All right, Jake, I'm not even going to ask you. You already said Georgia's going to win. It's been like that. You already told me that plenty of times. We appreciate you, and I can't wait to talk about this next week. Justin, I'm a dog. We know that. You're a Gator. Everybody knows that. Does the loser of this one have to wear a hat or shirt of the winning team on the show next week? Are you agreeing to that?
If that's what you want to do, Shock, that's fine. I might not have a lot of confidence, but I'm fine going down with the ship on this one. I hope it's a good game on Saturday and not a total blow. I got confidence in Billy Gonzalez. He was coaching when I was in school. But anyway, great insight, guys. I appreciate it. Well, each week on Going Deep, we ask a Falcons player, what was your welcome to the NFL moment? Now, we asked Michael Penix Jr. this question during training camp, and he told us he didn't really have one yet. Recently, we asked him again because you never know, and he said yes, he got a welcome to the NFL, but it's something he hopes will never come close to happening again. Falcons quarterback explains in this week's Going Deep.
Yeah, Carolina game.
2nd down and 8. Michael looks to the right, going to come back left. It's intercepted, and that's a touchdown for the Panthers.
It starts with me. I got to be better with my execution and, putting us in a position to help us win football games.
Snap to Penix. Michael throws, looking and slipping down was Ray McLeod, and here goes Michael Jackson.
I've never been skunked.
That's fair.
That's up.
Penix throws his 2nd interception of the day.
Yeah, that was terrible.
So that was it. Yeah, that's it. That was the welcome to the NFL.
Yeah, we ain't doing that no more.
Trying to avoid ever seeing that again for sure. More to come on Early Birds. Drake May has a whole bunch of weapons on the outside that will be a tough matchup for Atlanta's secondary. We'll break it down next on Early Birds.
Made in Georgia is presented by Chick-fil-A. We're getting your Saturday started right. Early Birds is back in a moment. It's time to get some game intel from Shock. You're invited into the film room. So cut the lights and let's get started.
Now, we already talked about how good Drake May has been, and we got to find ways to get to him. I thought the Falcons did a really good job of disguising some of their blitzes in their last game versus the Dolphins. Got to find a way to do more of that because Drake May is so good, and they got a really good group. Let's talk about what happened on this particular sack early in the game with the Falcons. It looks early. It looked like you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-man pressure here. But on the snap of the football, what's going to actually happen is this guy, Daniel Lamone, is actually going to bail. Once he bails, then you're going to get pressure from the inside on this nickel blitz from D. Alford. Now, the Dolphins, they don't communicate well. They end up blocking 2 guys just on 1, and that ill affords them to get to Tua. So what happens here, here's the pressure here. There's D. Alford coming off that nickel blitz. But look on the outside here. They got 2 guys blocking 1. You got another 2 guys blocking 1. K-Null's doing a good job of pushing upfield. Now the back's trying to get over on J.D. Bertrand, but you see by the time he looks over, here comes D. Alford with the blitz already, and he makes a big-time play. The disguise from the outside, not showing it premature, and now getting through. And by the time Tua looks and is ready to throw, look at his guys on the outside. Nobody has their head around, so he can't get rid of the football. Really great disguise from him, and a really good job of getting home was a great job. Hopefully do more of that versus Drake May. He is the kind of guy that you let him be in a rhythm, he's going to hurt you. I think the Falcons have to put the pressure on him early. Well, this game tomorrow with the Falcons and Patriots is very interesting to me in many ways, and there are a few matchups I believe will be fun to watch. Now, Josh McDaniel versus Ulbrich, hey, that could be intriguing. But Jake, my eyes are going on the perimeter. I think the pass catchers for the Patriots and Diggs, Booty, Henry, Hollins against the Falcons secondary could be the difference. What's your take on how the Falcons secondary can possibly slow them down?
As long as our guys come in healthy, Jesse's a little banged up. Bowman's been dealing with some injuries. But if those guys are at full strength, I think AJ and the group are going to bow up to the challenge and slow down this Patriots offense.
So you think playing more man coverage could actually bode well for us?
I think so, and then we can bring those pressures that you just showed.
I like that, Jake. I like where you're talking. Justin, you heard Jake there. He said we can get it done. If he says it, I think we can too.
Yeah, Falcons fans, hope both you guys are correct. Guys, thanks so much. Well, that Falcons defense will make sure to get in a good pregame warm-up before facing the Patriots. It's going to help them be at their best and lower the chance of injuries. It's one of those preventative measures that most of us never pay any attention to, and that's the focus of this week's Emory Road to Recovery.
Yeah, some of the pregame routine stretches, soft tissue type work that guys like to get is really an individual thing, and it's dependent upon, again, their past history of what they've dealt with, their past history of what they feel like has worked for them. It also depends on what their position is. Certain guys need to do certain speed work or certain type of warm-up routines specific for their own needs from their position. So really, we let the strength and conditioning staff kind of tailor that to each individual player, and that's important.
All right, love to hear that. More to come on Early Birds, but don't let Freddie around any power tools. The Falcons gave some kids a place to play before they play this weekend. We'll tell you all about that coming up next.
You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz, on your official home for Falcons football, Fox 5 Atlanta. Early Birds has been presented to you by Mercedes-Benz, official luxury vehicle of your Atlanta Falcons.
Seeing the kids' face and seeing everything that they love to do, and for us to be a little piece of that to make their days better, to make their time here better, is always the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, we love to see that. This was this past Tuesday. Shock Falcons players, they were digging and building. They were constructing a playground for kids in Stone Mountain. It was with the Atlanta Falcons Youth Fund, part of the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation. Other organizations, Georgia Power, Kaboom, were involved. And look at all the kids that were there. This is great.
Lots of kids. I remember my kids growing up, just taking them to a park and saying, all right, you guys go, was a big deal. So to see these guys out doing it, really using the hammer and nails, you see guys really involved in it. It's pretty cool, and those kids get a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see those guys, help them build a place they're going to play on for years.
And the organizations involved also contributed $400,000 for communities receiving up to $25,000 to renovate play structures. They were designed by the kids. Very cool to see. Be sure to join us for Dirty Bird Report tomorrow night, 11:30 p.m. DJ, Jank, and R. Kelly Price breaking down all things Falcons and Patriots. So if tomorrow night, DJ, you're going to be talking about a Falcons win, who do you want to see step up in New England?
I want to see the entire offense in the red zone step up. How about that? We've been struggling in the red zone to score touchdowns not field goals. Let's put some points on the board and put pressure on New England.
Yeah, need that against Drake May and a talented offense. That's it for us here on Early Birds. For DJ Shockley, I'm Justin Felder. Thanks for joining us. Have a good morning and a great rest of your weekend.